Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm really excited about today's video because you have heard me talk about my anxiety and kind of my story, talk about our reboot, which I hope you signed up for and that you're getting a lot of benefit and use out of, and that is changing your life one email at a time. And then today we're going to be talking about finding your tools. So I've talked a lot about my anxiety tools, but not actually told you guys what kind of tools that I use. But building your toolbox when it comes to your anxiety or depression or whatever you're struggling with will help you so much along that path. Developing a practice, something that you can rely on that will aid you in your journey. And it's something that's really hard to develop, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes some consistency. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that literally will change your life when it comes to your anxiety and your depression and whatever else that you're struggling with. I talk about anxiety because I struggle with generalized anxiety, for those of you who are new to this channel. So that is what I'm referencing here, but one of the main things that you should know when you're thinking about your tools and what kind of tools that might work for you is that not everything works for everybody. That you have to try different things, and I recommend doing that, trying one or two things at a time. That way you'll learn what really works for you and what doesn't. If you're trying 5 different things, it's going to overwhelm you. You're not going to be able to be consistent. And if you try one thing and you're really consistent at it and you stick with it and you do it every single day, you'll learn whether or not that tool is going to help you. And there have been tools that have not been helpful for me, and there have been tools that have literally changed my life. So I wanted to give you a few different kinds of tools, and then in later videos we're going to go more in depth into each of these types of tools, and I'm going to talk about my personal experience with them, why they were good for me, if any of them didn't work for me, and why, and how you can develop your practice with that specific tool. So I'm hoping that this series is going to be helpful for you guys. It certainly would have been helpful for me to have something like this where I could see the different kinds of tools that are available to me and how to utilize them. I do have friends that struggle with anxiety, and that has been one of my biggest resources and my biggest tools actually, is to be able to talk to somebody who also struggles with anxiety. So that is the first tool, is finding somebody who understands that you can talk to about your anxiety or about whatever you're going through, whether that be a therapist, whether that be a friend, a family member who struggled with anxiety. That's something that has been life-changing for me, to know that I'm not alone, to know that somebody is struggling too. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but at the same time it is comforting to know that you're not alone and that this isn't just happening to you. You know, they say misery loves company, and I hate that saying, but at the same time there is something to be said where you don't want to feel lonely in it, and it is scary, and it can feel really scary, and so feeling lonely just adds to that. So having somebody that you can talk to, whether that be a therapist, whether that be a friend or family member, is definitely one tool that is really, really good to have. That being said, you want to make sure that you're not leaning on people who don't understand, who criticize you, who judge you. So be careful of who you pick to share your story with. Another tool that you can utilize is meditation, and meditation comes in a lot of different forms. You can do guided meditations, there are meditations in books, and we'll go more in depth into that and how to start your meditation practice in a later video, but that has been my #1 tool recently. I meditate every single day, and I've been doing it for about a month now, and it has transformed my life. It's really changed me. It's been a tool that really works for me. And along with that is exercise. Exercise is a tool that has always been there for me. I struggled with anxiety as a kid, which I don't think my parents really knew. I don't think I didn't even know that, and it manifested into later in life for me. That's when it popped up. It went away for a few years and it came back. But exercise has always been something that will work for me always. That is a tool that I know I can rely on 100%. Meditation is quickly becoming that, but exercise and I have a relationship that has spanned about 20 years at this point, maybe 15 years about. But I know that when I'm exercising, I am burning off the energy that my brain and my body uses to worry and to panic and to stress. And to burn off that bit of energy just really, really helps me. And when I'm not exercising consistently and I start getting anxious and I can feel that kind of creeping up on me, that is my first tool that I go to. It is my go-to tool. You will find, when you're experimenting with different tools, you will find one that works for you no matter what. Most people do. You just have to try it out and be willing to put the work in to find the tools that are going to work for you. And I promise you guys, if your anxiety is bad enough, if you're struggling bad enough, you will find the tool that works for you. You will figure out what you need to get better. It's so, so important. Your mental, your emotional health is so important to living a happy and healthy life. Another tool that goes along with exercise is specifically yoga. Yoga helps teach you balance. It helps teach you really deep breathing, and that can be very calming. It's also usually in a very serene setting, and there are a lot of benefits to yoga, and a lot of people utilize that as a stress relieving tool. It's, you know, the deep breathing really helps to calm you down. Even though it is still a workout, it is a lot of release for some people, and people really, really like it. Another tool that you can use is self-care reading. If you did not see my last video, I talked about my favorite self-care books, and I will have that linked below if you want to check it out so you can find a book maybe to start that would be good for you. This is one that I would say you can definitely combine with other tools. I recommend self-care reading not as a tool by itself, but in conjunction with another tool that you know really helps you. I like reading inspirational, motivational, self-care books because it teaches me more about myself, about how my mind works, and it pushes me and challenges me to be better every single day. That is why I like doing self-care reading. If I just do that and I don't utilize any of my other tools, it won't really help my anxiety that much. It's just something that I like to do and use on a regular basis to kind of supplement and learn, because even though some people are worried about knowledge about anxiety, that is actually something that you can use as a tool for anxiety. Learning more about yourself, learning more about your anxiety, about why it happens, about symptoms, that all can help your anxiety not hurt it, contrary to what a lot of people believe. Another tool that I know a lot of people use is journaling, and I had not used this, but I just started using this recently. I have now a fear journal where whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed by irrational fears or just fears in general that I don't want to be bombarded by or bogged down by, I put them in my fear journal, and that is where I keep it. But a lot of people do different kind of journaling, reflection journaling, motivational journaling, you know, thinking about yourself and putting some of your thoughts on paper. I know that a lot of people who have anxiety need to get those thoughts out, not by talking about them, but by writing about them, and that helps them get it out of their system and kind of like cleanse that thought from themselves, and that really helps them. So journaling is definitely one that you can utilize. Another one is spending time outside. Nature helps a lot of people. Developing a routine is another one. Some people really thrive on their tools by getting up and doing the same thing every day, even if it's like eating oatmeal and a banana. Maybe that is your routine that you start to implement that makes you feel more grounded and more centered and a little bit calmer. Another one is spending time with friends, or just generally getting out of the house, especially if you work from home. I work from home, and I know that for me, it's really important for me to leave the house every single day. Since I work here, being here all the time, all day, all night can cause a lot of anxiety for me if I do it in extended periods of time. And yes, there have been times when I have only left the house to walk Toby twice a day for a series of days, 2 or 3 days, because I have a lot of work to do and there's not really any reason for me to leave unless I'm shopping or if I have an appointment or if I have to go to the grocery store or something like that. And so sometimes I get stuck here and I just feel like, you know, I should stay and I should get work done, but I know that it's really important for me to leave the house. So spending time with friends, spending time out of your house or in a setting that makes you happy is definitely really, really important. And then massage can also be a really good tool to utilize. Obviously, that relaxes you, relaxes your muscles, and it touch can be very calming to anxious people. And then planning and organizing, if you're a planner and you've just kind of gotten out of sync, using that as a tool and just kind of like organizing your day, maybe reorganizing a setting. One of the things that makes me really anxious is when a lot of things are really messy. Now, I am not the tidiest person in the entire world, and my family and Tim will all tell you that. When something gets really overwhelmingly messy, especially because I work from home, it makes me super anxious. So that's something that I know I need to handle as well. So you can see there are a lot of different facets, a lot of different tools, and I didn't even mention all of them, but I've mentioned some of them. A lot of them I have used. Nature is probably the only one that I don't use really consistently, but I still really like walking Toby, and it's a very relaxing time for me, so I still say I use that more regularly than I even think that I do. But these are some of the tools, and I will be getting more in depth with them in later videos. I have a couple other videos coming for you first, but then we'll break down each tool and talk about how you can start using that tool, how to find a therapist, how to start your meditation practice, how to start doing yoga, different yoga practices that you can do, resources, things like that. So all of the details about the tools in this video will be coming at a later time for you guys, but I wanted to just let you know that it's really important to develop tools that you can use and rely on whenever you're feeling really overwhelmed or really anxious, and you don't have to wait for those future videos to start figuring out what works for you. My challenge for you today is to pick out one of the ones that I mentioned, which I will also have in the description bar of this video just in case you forgot, and to start doing something for that tool every single day. So practice that tool every single day and see if that tool, and give it kind of a week to 2 weeks, and see if that one is going to be good for you. And if it's not, come back to this list and pick another tool that might work for you. But really give it a go, stay consistent with it, stay positive about it, and really work on that. So that is my challenge for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.